What was going on? Qatar embassy car found at 2 a.m. at Qihao Art Museum? According to commentator Lin Beichuan, a highly noteworthy development has surfaced today regarding the Yu Menglong case. A passage posted inside mainland China by someone using the name com230126 has drawn significant attention. If you are interested, you can search the exact message on Google. It reads, "Keep hiding and keep running, and you will be like rats crossing the street, never seeing daylight." How come, in the early morning of September 1st, at the Qihao and Bulgari hotel entrances, I saw the embassies? Should I go check the license plate? According to this user's account, after the Yu Menglong incident, a passerby in Beijing became suspicious. So on September 15th and 16th, around that period, he visited several locations that had been mentioned online. The Sunshine Upper East Residential Compound, the Qihao Art Museum, the Red Brick Art Museum, and the Bulgari Hotel. He wanted to go to these places himself and conduct some investigation. Unexpectedly, in the early morning of September 16th, at both the Bulgari Hotel and the Qihao Art Museum, he spotted a vehicle belonging to the embassy. This user said the passerby sent photos to several acquaintances, but shortly afterward, he received a phone call from the police. From that moment on, he no longer dared to talk about what he had seen. Later, the user who emailed commentator Li managed to obtain those photos through multiple intermediaries and then posted them overseas. The covertly taken images show that at both the Qihao Art Museum and the Bulgari Hotel, there was a vehicle with the license plate 195056. When asked, AI explained that the first 3 digits represent the country code, and the last 3 represent the vehicle's sequence number. The digits 195 correspond to Qatar, which means the vehicle was an official car belonging to the Qatari embassy in China. This raises a critical question. In the early hours of the morning, when most people are asleep, why would a Qatari embassy vehicle appear at both the Bulgari Hotel and the Qihao Art Museum? At that time, there were claims circulating that Yu Menglong's body had been stored in the cold storage room of the Qihao Art Museum. By then, the museum would have long been closed. So, could the embassy vehicle's presence be related to Yu Menglong? The user also mentioned a previously leaked gathering video, the one currently on screen. Online rumors claimed the gathering took place at the Bulgari Hotel. Many foreign faces were present, and English was being spoken. Netizens identified several participants, including Japanese physician Takao Kitagawa and Yan Shiji, director of the Red Brick Art Museum and a shareholder of the Qihao Art Museum. They were discussing Yu Menglong, some calling him a Chinese TV star, others saying he was a very sweet person. However, regarding the location of this gathering, commentator Li's friend offered a different perspective. In his email, he wrote that earlier information suggested the gathering was held in a luxury apartment with more than a dozen participants. Netizens believe this luxury apartment may very likely have been Kunlun Apartments, because in a separate video showing a Kunlun Apartments homeowner, parts of the unit had been renovated to resemble the Bulgari Hotel. In the email, the friend explained that Kunlun Apartments is right next to the Bulgari Hotel, only about a 5-minute walk away. Nearby are also the Qihao Art Museum and the Hawaii Brothers Building. However, Kunlun Apartments does not appear on Google Maps. Kunlun Apartments is a high-end Beijing residence with only 23 units, 1 per floor, each measuring over 400 square meters, and with 40-year property rights. Daily living costs are said to run between 3,000 and 5,000 yuan per unit. It was once designated a state-level discipline inspection residence. Without question, the people who live here are extremely wealthy, the so-called invisible elite. Netizens call them the invisible class, because money is not their status marker. Money is just their toy for enjoying privilege. Some netizens even speculate that Li Peng's grandson, Li Ming, also known as Ji Guangguang, might be the owner. This possibility cannot be ruled out. With how much money the Li Peng family has taken, buying several units of this kind would not be difficult at all. The friend also referred to another video. This footage was shot shortly after 1 a.m. The group of people shown in it are described as the ones who tortured Yu Menglong to death. The individual in the orange-red hat appears to be Fan Shiqi. The friend explained that this video was filmed at Jiuxianqiao, not far from Kunlun Apartments and the Qihao Art Museum. Beside the group is a bag. According to the friend, that bag might contain Yu Menglong. He then mentioned yet another video, one filmed at night, showing several people busy in the bushes of the Sunshine Upper East residential compound. The friend confirmed that this video was indeed recorded there. Earlier rumors claimed that on the day Yu Menglong was tortured to death, several neighbors in that compound were also killed. 3 girls and a man wearing glasses. One of the girls was reportedly shot dead by the perpetrators. Because of that, some people believed the footage showed the villains searching for bullet casings in the bushes. But there is an issue. The lighting at night is extremely dim, and bullet casings are tiny. Searching for them in the grass under such conditions seems unlikely, almost absurd. Netizens told Lee that the earlier rumor was that the villains were actually burying the neighbors. Among them, the person wearing a light-colored t-shirt and dark shorts looked like Hu Haiyang, a film director in mainland China. Rumors claim he was also involved in the torture and killing of Yu Menglong. One video circulating online even contains a voice that appears to be Fan Shiqi, shouting, "Hu Haiyang knocked him out." CCP crackdown escalates. The chilling last words of Lin Beichuan. These are the latest developments in the Yu Menglong case. Right now, the CCP's crackdown on the domestic internet has reached an unprecedented level. A netizen named Beiye, simply for speaking up on behalf of Yu Menglong and Lin Beichuan, who both claim to be red descendants, had several of his accounts blown up one after another. Netizens say the authorities cannot tolerate both the domestic and overseas internet voicing support for Yu Menglong at the same time. To suppress that momentum, they have even deployed large numbers of paid 50-cent operatives overseas, targeting Lin Beichuan and Beiye with coordinated smears. And the pressure on Lin Beichuan is even more severe. After Yu Menglong was tortured to death, Lin repeatedly spoke out demanding justice. Twice he was summoned back to Beijing. After this latest return, he was taken to the Sunshine Upper East residential complex and then disappeared. On November 19th, his childhood friend, the netizen known as Beijing Che, released a screenshot of their private conversation. In a late-night message, Lin said he had already signed the documents and was being forcibly recalled to the army. His exact words were, "I am willing to be called back. I also want to be called back. My family doesn't want me to go back. They know that if I return this time, they will never see me again." He also wrote that he no longer wanted to remain in his current environment, that he wanted to go find his father and mother, who had already passed away. The message reads like a farewell, like someone reaching for a final escape. According to Beijing Qie, Lin's parents died many years ago. He once believed that being the descendant of martyrs would give him protection. Instead, with no one backing him, that identity became the very reason he could be controlled so easily. What's even more chilling is that Beijing Qie said the unit Lin is being sent to has the highest casualty rate. He even issued a public warning. If by 2026 Lin Beichuan has not reported himself safe, then there's no need to wait. A man who spoke up for the dead, simply because he touched the interests of certain people, is now being sent to a place from which he may never return. If this isn't a disguised form of silencing, then what is it? We cannot make a final judgment yet, but the way this has been handled is far too coincidental and far too cruel, and it also reflects the evil nature of the CCP. China reaches a breaking point. Anti-communist wave erupts nationwide. Up next, we look at a China undergoing a historic shift, a nation where public anger, underground resistance, and widespread awakening are converging into a powerful anti-communist wave. On November 18, Lin Beichuan, chairman of the China Alliance for Peace and Democracy and a survivor of the 1989 movement, released a striking post on the X platform. He revealed that his team spent months conducting large-scale covert investigations across numerous provinces and cities. Their conclusion, he said, was exhilarating. According to Tang, dissatisfaction with the CCP has now become mainstream. Urban residents, especially in China's first and second-tier cities, show the strongest resentment. Among those under 30, nearly 80% express deep discontent, with fresh university graduates overwhelmingly identifying with the lying flat mindset or declaring, "We are the last generation." According to the Vision Times, economically the picture is dire. Real estate in major cities has collapsed by 50% to over 70%. And the mortgage default wave is rapidly turning from isolated incidents into a nationwide trend. Capital flight continues to accelerate, real economy investment has frozen, and small business owners have drained their savings. Tang warns that a full-scale social crisis is now only a matter of time. Graduation, he notes, has become synonymous with unemployment. Actual joblessness among university graduates far exceeds the official numbers, and this generation, disillusioned and directionless, may soon become the core force of future anti-communist resistance. Inside the system, Tang says the fractures are even deeper. The military harbors long-standing grievances. The cultural and arts sector has suffered the harshest purges. Those closest to the system now understand its mechanisms and abuses most clearly, making their dissatisfaction with the authorities even more intense. Meanwhile, infighting among the powerful red aristocratic families has reached the brink of collapse. Their struggle over spoils has created internal tensions sharper than ever before, with the real possibility of an open rupture. Tang also claims that the CCP continues to profit massively from live organ harvesting, and that the telecom fraud empires across Southeast Asia are CCP-backed industries, mere extensions and cover operations for this criminal system. Should this be fully exposed, Tang warns, it would trigger a moral reckoning for all of humanity and become the last straw breaking the CCP's legitimacy. And this, he says, is only the tip of the iceberg. He concluded with a call to action. China has rotted to the core. Heaven and the people are enraged. What we lack now is not reasons, but action. If you want a life without the CCP's demonic regime, let us unite and end it. The future of history will be written by us. His post exploded online, 412,000 views and thousands of interactions, drawing powerful reactions. Anti-CCP blogger Xiao Jin asked why the CCP's 50-cent commentators were absent, suggesting the propaganda department simply blocked them from seeing it to prevent ideological contamination. He added that, if this were made into a video, the impact would be even greater. The CCP's lies can no longer contain people's anger. Tang responded that the article was already circulating widely inside China. Millions have seen it, perhaps more, though he could not provide details. Ordinary netizens echoed the sentiment. Many said the investigation reflects China's true social reality. Everyday Chinese people openly mock Xi Jinping and curse the Communist Party, far from the brainwashed image portrayed online. Others warned that CCP elites are terrified, having already moved their children and wealth overseas. When the red boat sinks, one wrote, they'll flee to free societies and continue their lineage. Another widely repeated comment referenced a whisper circulating among China's lying flat generation. If we don't show up for work in March, the CCP will collapse. If we refuse to work in June, a new China will arrive. Parents across China, especially those in their 40s and 50s, resent the education system. Parents of new graduates resent the broken job market. Some have begun quietly encouraging young people not to marry or have children, a silent protest with staggering implications for China's future demographic structure. Once these frustrations are even lightly guided, netizens say, people begin to recognize that the CCP is the root of all problems, and many now show strong immunity to regime propaganda. And this awakening is not happening in isolation. Across China, An unprecedented anti-communist wave is sweeping the nation. It began on October 13, 2022, when protester Peng Lifa hung two massive banners on Sitong Bridge in Beijing, calling for food instead of endless testing, freedom instead of lockdowns, dignity instead of lies, and demanding the removal of Xi Jinping. The incident shook the world and inspired countless others. Shanghai residents soon chanted the same slogan: Communist Party step down, Xi Jinping step down. In Shandong, activists projected anti-CCP banners onto skyscrapers. At Tiananmen, someone spray-painted, Xi Jinping and the Communist Party must step down. In 2024, a youth promoting the Tear Down the Firewall movement shouted demands for internet freedom and equal rights, before being placed on a nationwide wanted list. In 2025, the wave turned into a storm. Protests erupted in Sichuan over a bullied 14-year-old girl. A man in Kunming held a banner reading, Xi Jinping step down. Anti-CCP slogans appeared in Hebei declaring, the CCP is not the same as China. Chongqing then witnessed one of the boldest protests yet, giant anti-CCP projections displayed on high-rise buildings for nearly 50 minutes. Beijing saw big character posters demanding the General Secretary step down, followed by the toilet revolution, restroom doors covered in graffiti calling for the end of CCP rule. Toilets, as China's only surveillance blind spots, became a rare sanctuary for anonymous dissent. After news broke that Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin privately discussed organ transplantation and longevity during the September 3rd parade, new waves of banners appeared nationwide demanding freedom, democracy, and an end to forced organ harvesting. By October 31st, the overseas account, Jiangsu Freedom Voice, shared screenshots showing resistance everywhere. Banners on police stations, posters accusing the CCP of harvesting organs from teenagers and Falun Gong practitioners, and calls to seek justice for Niu Tengyu and the chained woman. Across China, economic depression, unemployment, injustice, and widening inequality have fueled a growing consensus. The root of the crisis is the CCP's authoritarian system. And as more people awaken, the determination to resist grows stronger. For many, the belief is spreading. The fall of the CCP is no longer a distant possibility, but an approaching reality. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this analysis valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.